This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by Cooper Travis of Candia, New Hampshire, arrested for refusing to shut off a camcorder.
Well, I told you I want it off now, so he needs to shut it off now, so shut it off.
But Cooper reports that wasn't the strangest thing that happened. Cooper, who generally open carries a firearm, reports that when the cop tried to arrest them, that's actually the first time the cop noticed the firearm. Well, at that point, the cop, he says, gives the firearm to a non-police officer standing nearby. Here's the rest of Cooper's report as he called in to Free Talk Live last night.
So he came and put... did you get handcuffed? You did get handcuffed, right?
I did, yes.
Okay. So he put handcuffs on you, they put you in the car, and that's where we left the story off. Oh, there was the gun thing, too. You had a gun on you.
Right. I always open carry. Beth was open carrying at the time.
Nice.
And he didn't even notice that I was armed until he put the handcuffs on me. He put my hands behind my back, put my head down, and he kind of jumps. And he's like, what is that? He's like, he's got a gun. Crap. So he unclips it, takes it out, and hands it to the SPCA guy. But it was fairly obvious to me that the SPCA guy had never even handled a gun in his life.
Oh my gosh!
What's he doing giving this? What is he doing giving this guy who works for a not-for-profit, animal charity?
I have a feeling he's making This guy has to be making a paycheck. I see. Not-for-profit doesn't necessarily mean he would make a paycheck. I got you. Never mind. Go ahead, Mark, with your question.
Well, I'm just wondering why is he giving your weapon to this guy from an animal charity?
Right, and he told the guy, I don't remember if he told him anything, but what he did is he took my gun, and when I pull it out of my holster, the safety automatically comes off, so that was off, and he pulled the slide back before ejecting the magazine.
So he loaded around into the chamber.
So he put a round in the chamber and then ejected the magazine and then didn't even realize it, and he was pointing it right at the cop car, and I just think it would have been priceless if he had blown out one of the windows.
That would have been priceless, as long as no one got hurt, obviously, and that would really shake him up, I bet. But that cop, I think that cop deserves a reprimand for that particular move.
Now, by way of background, about an hour earlier, or maybe a little less, a member of the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals representative had come by and demanded entry onto Cooper Travis's dad's property. And Travis said he didn't have authorization to give that permission because his dad wasn't there. They were trying to verify that, in fact, the Travises have good shelter for the horses, which they say they do, but they say it's something you can't see from the road, and they're not willing to give permission to come on the property, or at least they weren't in a position to give permission for the man who owned the property. So it wasn't like necessarily they were saying that you can never come on the property. They were saying we don't have authorization to let you on the property, and that's what triggered the conflict. Now, I've tried to contact the SPCA operative to get a response and have gotten no response. However, libertarian activist Lauren Canario did succeed in getting him on the phone. Cooper's father, Brian Travis, the owner of the property, has been to the police chief's office now to complain. He says that the police chief apologized, and he believes that the police chief wants to do the right thing. The Travises are denying one thing that the officer said. The officer said he knows Brian Travis, the property owner, very well. They are denying that is the case, so they're saying the officer lied about that. Twice. Also, I called the Candia Police Department's number last night, left a message trying to get a response from them. As of a day later, I still have no response.
How we doing?
Good.
You being audio and video recorded?
I want to talk a little bit about the issue of recording police. When they tell you to stop recording, there are concerns with regard to exact wording of the law. Basically, when a cop tells me to stop recording, and I refuse, I generally refuse, I always look at it as an act of civil disobedience and assume that I might be arrested. Do not assume that it is legal to continue recording after they try to stop you. It may not be. It depends on the circumstance. Assume that it is civil disobedience and do not keep recording if you're not willing to face arrest. Always inform everyone that you are recording. if at all possible. This applies primarily to audio rather than pictures. Now, it's possible this show may not be over. Last night on FTL, Free Talk Live, Cooper said the cops may in fact come back with a warrant and may even try to search the house before it's over because they're so pissed. If you want to get involved, see the video description on this clip. You go to forum.nhfree.com. It doesn't matter where you are. There's something you can do to help. Now, another updates regarding this event. It turns out that while Cooper was being taken to the station, they took him very slowly and in very uncomfortable position on very uncomfortable seats. When he got to the station, they basically gave him a stern talking to and let him go. They returned his weapon. They tried to offer him a ride home, and he refused to take it, insisting on walking. Cooper's cell phone went off repeatedly during the ride to the police station, as people called it, trying to find out if he was okay. Lastly, I would like to point out that the Coopers say they do take good care of their horses. They just have a property rights issue. And, of course, as you can see from the exchanges yesterday, the video that's been posted, the police seem to be more oriented towards violating property rights than they were toward protecting animal rights. And the same went for this allegedly private charity that was acting as though it was a bunch of police. I mean, you tell me, would you let Planned Parenthood into your property? Would you let the National Right to Life Coalition on your property? Private charities and political action groups don't have the right to do that kind of thing. Also, it looks like Cooper Travis's camera, the battery ran dead right at the moment where he handed it off so that someone else could record his arrest. So that is apparently why you're not seeing video of him actually getting cuffed itself. Couple of suggestions I would have for any of you that end up in this situation. Cooper and Beth got a lot of things right, especially the part about being polite to these people. But one thing that would be helpful is probably to go ahead and pick up the phone and call Porcupine 411. Again, if you're willing to make it an act of civil disobedience, go ahead and call Porcupine 411 and record the whole interaction. But you absolutely must inform people that you're recording them. Otherwise, you're putting yourself at risk of threats, if nothing else. Or you could be accused of being surreptitious. But it would have been nice to have just a play-by-play, a continual broadcast of the entire conversation going out live in case the cops had grabbed the camera. Also notice in the first video how both Cooper and Beth did answer quite a few questions. So if the cops were there to try and gather information to harm people with, they got a lot of information. So it's something to think about when you tell the cops something, no matter how exculpatory it may seem. It can never be used to help you. All that can ever be used is the things that you say that incriminate yourself, if it ever comes to court. So be cautious about answering police questions. It's much better to answer the questions with new questions of your own. And a final thought, this whole event reminds me how important it is. We should have drills, maybe at Porcupine Fest or at the Liberty Forum. We should set up a room full of people who practice dealing with the police. We have people who pretend to be the police. You can practice dealing with them. Because it doesn't matter what I tell you to do. You'll never do it. You'll only do what you train. So me telling you that you should do this or you should do that probably doesn't matter. We need training. And that's something that the Liberty Forum or Pork Fest might be able to provide. However, I cannot provide it myself. I can only put the idea out there and hope that someone picks it up and runs with it. It's all I can do just to keep broadcasting. Anyway, it's Dave Ridley signing out for RidleyReport.com. This November 5th, 2008, one day after the Candia Police Department went crazy.
Most talk radio sucks. What if you found a show that wanted to end the war on drugs? Would you listen? Join us for the #1 pro-liberty talk show, Free Talk Live. Listen live or via podcast for free at freetalklive.com.